Alternative investments can be used to further diversify a portfolio. Regardless of how much you're in love with equities or fixed income, or maybe you're sitting on the sidelines with cash, alternative investments are something to take a look at. Depending on your age, your income, your expectation for returns, you can add alternative investments to a portfolio and conceivably lower risk and increase your rates of return. So let's take an example. From 1989 until March 2021, if, for example, someone likes equities and they have a portfolio, say 80% equities, 20% fixed income, the volatility over that time period is 12.58% return, and the annualized returns 9.77. So almost 10% annualized returns being a stock investor, 80%, 20% in fixed income. Now, if one changed their portfolio and they added alternative investments early on, and say back then, over that time period, same time period, 30% alternative investments, 50% equities, and 20% fixed income. So the same amount of fixed income, 20%, the only change is 30% alternative investments, 50% equities. The volatility over that same time period decreases from 12.58% all the way down to 9.34%. Now, one would think, okay, I lowered my risk, therefore, because I reduced my equities, I probably reduced my returns. So I'm lowering my risk. That's what you would think. But with alternative investments over that same period, the annualized returns were 9.95%, which beat the number I mentioned before, which was 9.77%. So returns increased, risk decreased. I've done quite a few studies on various periods of time, going all the way back into the 90s, looking at different portfolios and adding alternative investments. And the conclusion again and again and again is alternative investments can help lower risk and increase returns. I said that on national TV in 2010, 2011. I provided 2 books, one of which is Wave Theory for Alternative Investments. I did a study on 10 years, 20 years on how adding alternative investments can lower risk and increase returns. Later on in 2014, I wrote another book published by Palgrave Macmillan. The first one was by McGraw-Hill. This one, Understanding Alternative Investments, was published by Palgrave Macmillan, and also details over 10 and 20 years how adding alternative investments can help your portfolio. Let's take another example. Again, this is going all the way back to 1989 until March 2021. So say we have 30% alternative investments, and we lower our equities down to 30%, and we increase our fixed income, making it a very safe or much safer portfolio with 40% fixed income versus 20%. And we still have a good portion of alternative investments, 30%, and we have equities which were reduced from 80% down to 30%. Let's take a look at that. So volatility goes all the way down to 6.24%. That's right, that's almost half, or actually is half, of the 12.58% volatility, all the way down now to 6.24%. Now you would think you would have hardly any returns making a portfolio with 40% fixed income, only 30% equities, and 30% alternative investments. But that's not true. As a matter of fact, 9.04% were the annualized returns over that time period, having 40% fixed income, 30% equities, and 30% alternative investments. So someone that says, I don't want to look at alternative investments, I don't understand them, I'm going to avoid them, is being remiss. One should take a look, open their eyes and their ears and listen to how they could build a better, more diversified portfolio using alternative investments. There's different combinations. There's different strokes for different folks. How much to add in alternative investments depends on a lot of variables. How much you have in savings, how much risk you want to incur, what is your income, a whole bunch of risk factors and different factors that you should take a look at. So let's take one more example. Let's say 30% alternative investments, 40% equities, and 30% fixed income. If you're enamored and in love with equities and you have to have them and you want a good portion, 40% equities is a lot. And if we have 30% alternatives, it's a fairly aggressive portfolio. And say we reduce the fixed income from 40, which we talked about earlier, down to 30%. So you have 30 alts, 40 equity, and 30 fixed income. Volatility is still low at 7.76, far lower than 80% equities with 12.58% volatility. Now one has only 7.76% volatility. Now let's take a look at the returns. Same thing, 9.51%, very attractive annualized rates of return, having 30% fixed income, 40% equities, 30% alternative investments. And like I've said many times, if the market crashes or when it crashes or corrects, one can always use that fixed income to add more to alternative investments or equities if you have to have so many equities. Different portfolios will have alternative investments, depending on what someone wants to have as far as volatility and annualized returns. If we take a look at the old 60-40, 60% equities, 40% fixed income, for example, the volatility on that is high. 60% equities, 40% fixed income, 9.37% volatility. That's higher than we just talked about. Now the annualized returns, well, they're below 8.97%, having the old 60% equities, 40% fixed income portfolio. You have to really take a look at the volatility and design the portfolio that's best for you to make those returns. And it's careful consideration whether it's 40-60, 60-40, 80-20, equities and fixed income, or if you add alternatives, how much is appropriate? 30% alternative investments, 40%, 20%, what should be the fixed income, what should be the equity? It varies, but one thing is for sure, adding alternative investments can be advantageous to a diversified portfolio.